What's up, guys? Welcome to the latest edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and hold on, special guest, the Terrible Towel. Even though it's a little crazy with the green screen in there, but there's the Terrible Towel. We're going to let it sit right there. What's up, folks? So we definitely got to dive into the latest and greatest news about the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of what happened in the game. And we're also going to talk about a newly acquired Pittsburgh Steeler now that we know, guys, there has been a trade. So we'll dive into that. But first, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Give you guys a few moments to say what's up to each other. And then I'll dive right in. I promise, guys, tonight I can't be that long. Can't be that long tonight, guys. Let me tell y'all a quick story while we wait for some more folks to get in here. You guys know I usually go to work one day a week. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home, telework. I work in my office one day a week, which is in Washington, D.C. I live in York, Pennsylvania, okay? So on Fridays, I normally travel into D.C. Well, this week, we had our quarterly meeting, and I had to go in today, right? But I also have to go in tomorrow. And not to mention, do I just have to go in, I have to drop off my wife and my son at the airport before I go to work. So as you can tell, I got an extremely busy day and a very early night. I'm going to have to cut it short tonight and get into bed and all that jazz. But there you have it. All right, so let's talk about some Steelers news, shall we? Let's see who's in here already. Somebody in here talk about how about them Cowboys? Really? In a Steelers stream? My man Kenyon is in the building. My brother Tony in here. Champagne Poppy. Michael Garmin. Still Gunplay. Steeler Cars. Jay Miles, excuse me. Maurice Ware. And Lucky W is out there. Leon Harris. Leon Langley. Leonard Langley. That is my father-in-law, guys. That's my boy right there. That's my Sunday partner. You know, we watch the Steelers games, and you know, we laugh about them, argue about them, and cry about them all the same. And both Leonard and myself plan to go to a game, of course, again this year. And I know Tony said he's expressed interest as well. So maybe we all could get together and go to a night game. We got our eyes on that Baltimore Ravens game, Week 4, which I believe was a Sunday night game. That'll be a great game to go to. We take Monday off, etc., etc. But we'll get into that later. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into this, man. Because again, like I said, I can't go extra long tonight. I definitely want to keep it less than 40 minutes. So that's what we're going to shoot for. So let's go. First and foremost, there was a trade by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, a late trade. And let me tell you why I'm excited about it is because I think this guy will make an immediate impact in a well-needed area. But also it lets me believe that I don't think the Steelers are done. I think the Steelers might still do a little more wheeling and dealing before Week 1, perhaps on the defensive side of the ball, perhaps outside linebacker depth, inside linebacker depth, etc. Or we might be okay, because what I'm going to talk about later on in the show is the reason why they might be okay. But anyway, let's talk about Ryan Switzer. For you guys that know or don't know who he is, he's a wide receiver, mainly a return guy. Played with the Cowboys last year, returned the kick against the Redskins. I'm not sure how much more I think it was a punt against the Redskins, and he may have had more returns for touchdowns that season. I'm not sure. I just remember that game specifically. I was actually watching that game. Okay? He's averages a very good yardage on kick returns, and he's both a kick returner and a punt returner. So fast forward to what the Steelers did a couple days ago, yesterday I believe. They trade to the Oakland Raiders. If I'm not mistaken, we gave up a 2019 5th-round pick for a 2016 6th-round pick along with Ryan Switzer. I'm cool with it, okay? Because I have to give, again, a lot of credit. I always have to give credit to the Terrible Podcast. Shout-outs to those guys, Terrible Podcast, you know, SteelersDepot.com, Dave and Dave, Alex Kazor, Mark Matsey, I believe his name is. A lot of guys over there that do great work. But I heard them say on the Terrible Podcast that, you know, I think it was on the Terrible Podcast. It might not have been them, but somebody said that the reason why the Steelers would be willing to do something like that is the Steelers generally expect to be, you know, picking very late because either they've won a Super Bowl or they've gone to the championship game or have gone to the divisional round or whatever round, you know, championship weekend or what have you. So you expect to pick late. So a 5th round in 2019 is really not going to hurt much. To get a guy who will help right now, and you still acquire another pick in the next round. So I think it was a great trade. Now let me tell you what Ryan Switzer is going to be able to do for the Steelers. He's a return man. Okay, we know what happened in this past game. It was good to see. Let me do a quick sidebar here. It was good to see Mike Tomlin break a little bit of his norm in terms of return man. He put Cam Sutton back there. I know I've been wanting to see that, and I was okay if we didn't see it, but I've always wondered, Cam Sutton has this capability. He's done it in college. Why won't the Steelers explore it? So I was cool with seeing Cam Sutton back there, right? Fumbled the ball away. Now, granted, he got hit pretty bad, and I could understand why he coughed it up. But we all know Mike Tomlin doesn't like you coughing that ball up when you're on a kick return or punt return. Eli Rogers did the same thing last year. I believe it was against the Bears. We didn't see him returning punts again. And I think Eli has some potential back there. Okay, so that's number one. But it's good to see that Tomlin is exploring more options. Case in point, outside of the Cam Sutton thing, now you look outside of the organization and say, look, this area of football is important. We need somebody that can return kicks and punts. We don't want to put Antonio Brown back there. Tomlin liked this guy coming out of college. He said that publicly. I remember that. They had a kind of eye on him for special teams last season, during the draft. Great opportunity to get him. Now, where's the downside? Some people will say, well, it's his 3rd team in like a year. Yeah, I agree with you there. But I think he's going to primarily be a returner. He does have some wide receiver capability, mainly in the slot, but I don't think the Steelers are going to use him there. And then you never know. Maybe he's a gadget guy that, Randy Fichtner could have some fun with. We'll see. But I'm just more concerned with the return game. I'm cool with that trade. We didn't give up much to gain much more, in my opinion. If this dude can average 25 to 30 yards a kick return, way better than what we've been experiencing, and he has history with returning a kick just recently for a touchdown. So I think it was a great trade. So there's my thoughts there. Some guys are automatically going to get cut. Oh, wow, guys, we already got a dislike. Well, I guess they hate us Steelers, huh? Anyway, some guys are already cut, man. I think that really showed us the roster's being trimmed and shaped up already. Cutting fat off of that roster already. Guys like Quadri Henderson, he's gone. He's probably gone unless they want to use him for a practice squad spot. We'll see, but he's done. It's unfortunate, man, because in the NFL, it's just that kind of business. If you're not a high pedigree guy coming out or a high pedigree undrafted free agent that gets opportunities, chances are you're going to get cut or you're going to get put on the practice squad. Case in point, Matthew Thomas. We're going to talk about him a little later, but Matthew Thomas had somewhat of a high pedigree. We all know, well, some of you guys don't know, but he had some injury issues and had some personal issues and things like that kind of dropped him in the draft, and he didn't get drafted. Steelers were able to get him. He was probably one of the more high pedigree-ish, undrafted free agents on the roster. Look at him now. He's probably going to make it, okay? But he's had more opportunity. Versus a Quadri Henderson, you don't get a lot of opportunities to return to football. And unfortunately, that's how the business goes. It really sucks, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. It just is what it is. All right, guys, so without further ado, man, I got to talk about this game, man. Now, let me take a look at my quick notes, but I could probably pretty much go off the head, man. I know some of the areas that I want to discuss. First, let's talk about Big Ben Roethlisberger. Now, if you look at Ben's numbers, okay, the numbers suggest that his game was pretty good. Ben had some bad and he had some good in that game, in my opinion. Ben was a little rusty. Not going to fault him for it. Listen, it's preseason. But Ben was most definitely rusty. He missed some wide open shots, threw some high balls, threw balls behind guys. Poor Jesse James, man, went up and snagged one of them, got hit in the back. And, we know the rest of that story. He had a little contusion there. But guess what? He returned back to practice. So this guy, Jesse James, is that deal. He doesn't let anything waver him. This dude doesn't miss practice. Pure Iron Man. But Ben was sailing some of those balls, and I mean, some of them, he had Jesse James a few times wide open. clear miss, okay? But he made some good throws as well. The throw to Justin Hunter, can you put it in a better spot? That was a beautifully thrown ball on a go into the end zone, and a phenomenal catch by Justin Hunter. If we can get anything like that from Justin Hunter, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and some of y'all are probably gonna laugh, but the real ones are gonna understand this. That's Martavis Bryant. Justin Hunter is the equivalent of Martavis Bryant on the deep ball. Follow what I'm saying? Big, tall, for that position. I think he weighs at about 215-ish, 220, 6'3", 6'4", fast. That's Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant never materialized into this all-around receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Justin Hunter can definitely fill that role if necessary. Being that guy that we go vertical. He can do it. He's inconsistent. We all know that. Sometimes he runs the wrong routes. That's what I'm saying. Let's not put a lot of eggs in that basket. But if the guy can at least give us some of that from time to time, great. Because James Washington is going to be the guy. Come on, we know that. James Washington is going to be the man opposite Antonio Brown. And when when it's two receivers, it'll probably be Juju and AB. Of course, in the 11 personnel, when 3 wide. Juju in the slot, Washington, AB. That's what it's probably going to be, more than likely. Now, outside of that, man, again, like I said, I'm not going to hold too much on Big Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, you got to understand, man, Roethlisberger, he's just getting the rust off. But he definitely was a little rusty, so I got to call him out about it. Juju dropped a wide open catch. Wide open. And you know what the reason was? You know why he dropped it? He's playing too much Fortnite. Look at my face. Come on, man. Listen, fans. Listen, I'm talking to some of these unruly Steeler fans. Wait, please stop. Please stop. What these guys do in their personal life that's harmless has nothing to do with what happens on the football field. There's no way you're telling me that because Juju Smith-Schuster, a 21, 22-year-old youngin' that likes to play video games in his spare time instead of being out in the street getting in trouble, that's why he dropped the ball. Y'all got to stop with that, man. Y'all kill me with some of the rationale that you guys have for why somebody's not playing good. How about the fact that they're human? Everybody drops a ball from time to time. Antonio Brown has done it. Everybody does. It happens. That's why football is so undetermined. That's why you play every play, because you never know what's going to happen. Remember, it used to be a time when Le'Veon Bell didn't fumble either. And we've seen him fumble once or twice. It's football. So y'all kill me with that. And the reason why I'm even pointing it out, because people literally at me on Twitter, hey, man, this is what, bruh, come on, stop it. Stop being crazy. Stop being ignorant. And you notice I didn't even say it correctly. I said ignorant, not even ignorant. Stop being ignorant. Come on. Let's later with that. But the next thing. What else I got in my notes here, guys? I'm trying to figure it out here. Is there anything else that I have that's worthy of a talk about? Offensively, because y'all know where I'm going. I'm going with defense really, really quick, guys, and I'm going to have to get up out of here. But let's see. What else do I have here? Offensively, that might be about it, man. James Conner, didn't have as successful of a day running the football, but he had 6 catches for, I believe, 53 yards or something like that. I'll take it. Because me and my father-in-law was having that discussion. He fell in love with Samuels, but he's neglecting to acknowledge the fact that Samuels was going against second and third string opposition. Don't let what happened against the first team defense and James Conner running the ball determine how you feel about him. Go back and look at the Green Bay game, and it's a totally different story. He balled out in that, but I'm talking about running the football. But against, Tennessee, give them some credit. They got some big boys on the line. They got a fairly decent, defense, so you got to give him credit. He didn't have as good of a game running the football. Have we not seen games where Le'Veon Bell didn't have a much success running the football? So we can't just look at things on the surface and say, oh, he sucks, oh, he's good. Because he was champion, you know, and campaigning for Samuels. But again, don't let it be fool's gold, you know, because of the competition they're playing against, etc., etc. We know how that goes. However, Samuels did look good. I did like what I saw out of him. I like his decisiveness. I liked everything I saw out of Samuels pretty much in that game. I didn't really see too many faults. I've only watched the game now 1.5 times. I'm going to go back and watch it again, maybe tomorrow, you know, just so I can get a better feel for who I really need to look for in next week's game. But outside of that, man, that's all I got as far as offense. Now, really, really quick, guys, time check. We're at 17 minutes and 50 seconds, so let me try to speed this up a little bit. All right, guys, and real quick, because I just seen Leonard said, we will see. Can you guys please explain to him how you feel about James Conner versus Jalen Samuels? Don't let me, you know, just have my opinion. I want to see everybody else's opinion. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think James Conner is the better running back right now, or do you think it would be Jalen Samuels? I'm just talking about the running back. I'm not talking about the Swiss Army knife that Jalen Samuels can be. I'm just talking about as a pure runner from what we see and what we know. Who's the better one to be that number 2 guy, the guy who should start week 1 against Cleveland if Le'Veon Bell wasn't there? All right, so y'all share that in the comments. All right. Defense. Let me start off with the quick bad. And I'm going to say bad just to categorize it, but in my opinion, I don't look at everything as being bad. What we also have to stop doing, fans, is we have to stop expecting our team to do everything correct. Stop every play. Don't allow no first down. Don't allow any yardage. Score touchdowns every time. We got to get that out of our heads. We're playing against professionals. There's no defense on earth that stops everything. Okay? So we have to start looking at what unfolded in plays versus, oh, something happened, oh, the defense sucks. So let me get to my example. Do y'all remember there was a 3rd down, I believe, on the 1st or 2nd series where I think it was Corey Davis. One of those dudes was wide open on that 3rd down. Mariota skipped it off the ground and missed him. Now, Terrell Edmonds was right there, so more than likely he maybe tackles the catch, but the dude was open. So we can't go into it blindly and say the defense just shut everything down, because there was some holes in there, and Mariota was having a little bit of bad luck, a little bad day as well. But that's the only thing I saw that was negative. But again, like I said, your defense is going to give up something. We're going to give up some points. I don't expect us to shut every team out and never allow anything. So I don't judge it like that. You know, we all watch football or been around people who feel like if they gain a yard or 2, oh, see, that's too much. Like, come on, man. But anyway, if I had a critique, it would have been that on that 1 3rd down, wide open. I don't know if that was a miscommunication or whatever. Luckily enough, there was enough pressure to get Mariota out of the pocket. He one-hops it. The rest is history. But outside of that, boy, that defense looked good, man. I saw pressure. I saw Stephon Tuitt being dominant early. I saw guys tackling the catch. There was another pass play right across the middle, and Sean Davis was on that dude in a millisecond. That's all I asked for. Tackle the catch. Even if you give up something, tackle the catch. Like Tomlin says, defend every blade of grass. I saw tight coverage. I saw tackling the catch. I saw guys being in the right spot. We give up a catch or 2 here and there. Guys was right there. It wasn't like nobody was gashing us for 20, 30 yards. That was a good sign. We were sniffing out the run game and we weren't having it. That was a good sign. Javon Hargrave was getting pressure. Great sign. Stephon Tuitt getting pressure. Great sign. Cam Hayward was being disruptive as he always is. Great sign. Okay? Vince Williams was being a pest. Like he's grown accustomed to being, and got a sack. Great sign. John Bostic looked a little more comfortable out there. I didn't really have any moments where I felt like he was out of the play. Good sign. Didn't have to even call Joe Hayden's name. Great sign. or Artie Burns. Even better sign. We didn't really have to say anything about them. Then maybe some of you guys saw something, but I didn't see anything that made me want to call either one of the corners out. Terrell Edmonds running with the man on the scramble drill, getting in front of him, picking that ball off, and then getting up and taking that thing 20, 25 yards up the field. Beautiful. I'll tell you like this. I don't judge it this early, but I like what I saw. If we can get that type of defense that's a little, seem to be more cohesive, sky's the limit. That's all the Steelers need is a decent defense. We don't need the number 1 D. I just want us to be a top 10 defense consistently, which we were for the most part last year, but y'all understand what I'm saying. Getting off the field on third down, let's improve that a little bit. If we can take that up a notch and we can limit, if the Steelers can improve on getting off the field on third down, we're not going to stop every third down, so let's not say that. But if they can get off the field more, improve that percentage, and if they can reduce the amount of big plays, 20+ yards, the Steelers could clearly be, in my opinion, just on paper, they could definitely be a Super Bowl contender because you expect the offense to do what they do. And like I said, if the defense gives you anything, if they improve in those 2 biggest areas that plagued us last year, getting off the field in important third downs and fourth downs, I might add, because we've given up some of those, as well as being able to reduce the amount of big plays, because the Steelers were one of the worst at it last year. There you go. Give me that effort that I saw out of my defense in the first half. Consistently. You're going to have off games. Everybody does. But if you give me that consistently, now we talking. Now we talking. All right, so I think that's about all I got, guys. Time check is 24 minutes, so I'm going to run through some of you guys' comments, and then we're going to bounce up out of here. Was there anything else I had? Yep, I talked about Vince Williams, Edmonds, Tuitt, Haywood. That's about it. I wrote down, I said, the first drive. Tua gets a sack on that second play action play. And, yes, I wanted to talk about this. Did y'all see that formation? With Vince Williams, Matthew Thomas, and John Bostic on the field. Did y'all see that? What is that? Was that some type of hybrid 4-3? What was that? Did y'all see that? And it was on a passing down, I might add. That was interesting. We need to keep our eyes on that. What was that? That was very interesting. And how does that change if TJ Watt is playing? But I thought that was interesting. Also, how does it change if Burnett is dressed? So it could be something that they're trying, or it could be an emergency formation that when you don't have one of those guys, or again, it could just be a formation, a package. But that was interesting. But clearly, seeing that Matthew Thomas is playing like that and he was playing with the ones, he's on the squad. There's no question in my mind. Matthew Thomas makes the 53, I think. I think, again, the Steelers are going to keep 5 inside and possibly 5 outside. So I think that clearly allows a guy like Matthew Thomas to make the team, as well as a guy like Odaney. Odaney did some good things too. If you guys watch the rest of the game, he's still proven it to be a guy that you want to keep as a backup. So I think those are the 2 standout UDFAs. Nobody else really. Marcus Allen is probably going to get practice squad because Burhay is continuing to prove what he is on special teams. So it's pretty much how I feel about that. So don't have much more to say, guys. Like I said, I got to wrap this up, man. But I'm going to look and see what some of you guys are saying really, really quick. We're at 26 minutes or something. Did good this time. We're not going to go too far over the 30-minute mark. So let me see what you guys got going on here. Let's see. Jesse Williams says, I like how James Conner progressing. I also want to see Ryan return kicks. So do I, buddy. Let's see what else. Ooh, Nathan Miller, what's up, man? He said, does Josh Dobbs make the team? Ah, man. Probably not. I think the Steelers are going to try to find a way to get him on the practice squad, man. And if he clears waivers, But they're not going to cut Landry Jones. Let's be clear and let's be honest with ourselves. For us guys that haven't been a big Landry Jones fan, Dobbs and Rudolph are not ready to be the number 2. Should Ben Roethlisberger go down, you definitely would want to have a guy like Landry Jones. Which, listen, we could say what we want about him, but Landry Jones has won. Landry Jones has been able to at least manage a game and just keep it simple. And you at least want to have that guy, give him a couple starts or so while you try to groom the other guy and bring the other guy, the number 3 guy along and possibly give him a shot. If Ben is out for an extended amount of time, you try both quarterbacks. But clearly I don't think that Mason Rudolph nor Dobbs is the number 2 guy should something happen to Roethlisberger. So, and they're not going to cut Mason Rudolph. They're not going to practice squad him. Dobbs is probably the lone man out. What's up, Zach? Zach says, that trade tells me that Toussaint is going to be cut. Only thing that was keeping him and ahead of Ridley was the fact that he returns kicks. You might be absolutely right about that, because I think as well, I agree with the guys over on the Terrible Podcast. They said that they believe, well, Alex Kazur says he believes that they're going to keep 4 running backs, and it would probably be Jalen Samuels. I think that's probably the truth. Before Ryan Switzer, I would say maybe they keep Toussaint, because Toussaint can give you both running back and returner. But I think now that probably spells the end of Fitzgerald, Toussaint, and it would more than likely be Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, Jalen Samuels, and Stephen Ridley, if they keep 4. Kenya says he was picked 2 picks before we picked, and if we would have been there, we would not have picked Josh Dobbs. Talking about Ryan Switzer. Very interesting. You're right, because Tomlin has shown so much, so much liking to him. You said Eli might be gone. Yeah, you might be right, brother. Yeah, Reed McLaughlin, what I was saying was that essentially, think about what Martavis Bryant did for us. Justin Hunter can do that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Justin Hunter is nowhere close, or anywhere close to what Martavis Bryant could be. But I'm just talking about what he did for Pittsburgh. Because to me, Martavis Bryant was supposed to be what we're seeing out of James Washington. Snatching the ball, being aggressive, being a good route runner with that blazing speed, with being able to take the top off the defense. We never saw it. He basically was just a fly pattern. Think about last year. Martavis Bryant was really just a decoy. Make him go deep and let Juju work underneath and let the defense make a mistake and let AB be lined up man to man. That's all we did. Not to take anything from Juju, but Juju earned it. Even the game when Martavis was suspended, Juju balled out of his mind. But I'm just saying, Martavis Bryant was merely just a decoy last year. And that was it. See what else y'all got, man, and I'm going to get up out of here in a minute. Oh, and you see that, Leonard? Look at how many people saying Conner is way ahead or way better than Jalen Samuels. That's what I'm saying, man. We talk and we laugh and joke with each other all the time. But, again, you got to admit, sometimes you do, like a lot of the typical fans, they'll just see a performance. Oh, this guy's great. Nah, it's more to that. Like, that man was going against third stringers. I mean, no. He's not better than James Conner at this moment. Now, I'm not saying that he couldn't end up being something, but at this moment, he's definitely not. And Leonard said all he can say is we'll see who will be the better running back. I can tell you right now, James Conner will be the better running back for the Steelers in 2018. Guarantee. For one main reason is Jalen Samuels is not going to get a lot of opportunities purely running the ball. That ain't going to happen. Unless Bell goes down, Conner becomes a starter, and then Jalen Samuels is spelling Conner. Outside of that, the rotation clearly is going to be Bell to Conner. Jalen Samuels might come in there when we want to do something else, like put him, line him up here, line him up there. We're going to do some trickery. We might run a pony formation where it's 2 of them in the backfield, something like that. But, nah. Let me see what else y'all got, man. I'm going to read maybe 2 or 3 more and then we done. Let me find somebody I haven't read yet. Interesting. Alan Woodall says, this is the year they win number 7. I believe the defense will gel and improve each game. Let me tell you something, man. It's hard for me to say that, and I'm going to take a real sip of water, a quick sip of water, if you guys don't mind, before I give a real answer. I just want to ponder on that for just a second. If the Steelers, a lot of ifs I'm about to say here, and we all know the riddle. If was a spliff, we all be drunk or be high. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, mark these words. I want y'all to listen carefully to what I'm going to say. If our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers offensively performs, and primarily Big Ben, this guy right here, number 7, Big Ben Roethlisberger, if he performs the way he did in the second half of last season offensively, and the defense can resemble what we saw Saturday consistently, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. No doubt in my mind. Because as much as we're going to play tough opponents this year, tough competition, I think that offense playing like that is a problem for anybody. Let's not forget Le'Veon Bell is playing for the money this year. He can't afford to not have a big year. He's trying to get that bread. He wants that Todd Gurley guarantee money, which means you're going to get the best Le'Veon Bell you have ever seen. Because all he has to do is just be Le'Veon Bell, and somebody's paying that money next year. Antonio Brown, no sign of slowing down. We haven't seen it yet. And again, if Roethlisberger can play the way he played the last 8 games of the season, if Roethlisberger can play the way he did against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that playoff game that we dreadfully lost, just think about that. Put a better defense in that game. Come on, man. We easily winning that. No disrespect to the Jags. We easily win that with a better defense. Easily. Roethlisberger lit up the number 1 defense and probably the best cornerback tandem in the league. Lit them up. That's all I'm saying. That ain't my Steeler bias. That's just speaking the facts. Because they gave it to us in week 5. We know that. They pushed us around, beat us up, punched us in the mouth. And they didn't come into the playoff game like no punk either. They wanted all the smoke. And they took it. We couldn't hang with them. They gave us all of the smoke. So, there you have it. All right, guys, I'm a little bit over time, so I'm going to read one more here, and then we out of here. Yo, Kenya said, anytime I say beloved, he gets worried. Yeah, man, nah. That was a good one that time, though. All right, last one, guys. Send the producer. What up? He says the Steelers might have to draft a tight end next year or picking up a tight end this year. And no question. We will have to draft a tight end next year. And depending on what happens with the back half, no, not even that. I think we got to get a running back also because, I mean, do you carry Ridley again another year? So we're going to at least be down to 2 running backs that are, capable after this season. And that will be Connor and Samuels. We'll need another running back. Might as well get somebody fresh for cheap and let him be in there and work in the rotation. And we must get a tight end. And we must go linebacker inside and out. So those definitely need to be within your first 4 draft picks, in my opinion. Running back, maybe you could wait till a little later. But tight end, outside, and inside backer, first 3 picks. Has to be, in my opinion. But we're way too early for that, though. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, man. I promised my wife that I would be less than 40 minutes, and I'm right at the mark, right under it now, so I got to get up out of here. Just to give you guys a heads up for you guys who are here for the gaming, I'm not going to stream tonight, man. I got too much going on tonight, but I plan to give a stream tomorrow. We'll probably stream some NBA Live, the demo. You know, just probably not Madden just yet, man. I don't want to get into that situation, but you know, some crazy stuff has gone on in that community, so I'm just, you know, being respectful and things like that. So there you have it. But anyway, guys, let me go ahead and get up out of here, man. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click on the notification. If you don't know what that is, it's that little bell that you see. I'll even tell you exactly where it is. Let me see if I can find it for you. No, I don't see it here on the stream, but if you subscribe to the channel, there should be a little bell, and you click that on as well, which will notify you when new videos are available, whether stream or pre-recorded. And last but not least, if you like what you saw, if you like what I do, you like the Pittsburgh Steelers, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Give me a nice like on there. That helps me out greatly, so I would appreciate it. But outside of that, guys, man, I hope everybody has a great remainder of the week. Let's watch on Thursday to see who really wants to make the team, because we know the bottom of the barrel will be out there fighting for a few spots. And hey, man, it's almost time. It's almost time. The season is about to begin. All right, so love you guys, man. And we'll be back next week for some more Terrible Towel Tuesday. All right, y'all be easy. Peace.